If I had $1 for every time someone just casually referred to someone they knew as a friend, I would probably be richer than Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates. Now, this thought struck me because many times I've seen persons around me end up regretting persons that they had in their circle, or saying, they have too many fake friends around them, they can't trust people, they've been backstabbed so many times. And as I thought about it, I realized that many of us, including myself, have been guilty of calling persons friends that shouldn't be friends. So I'm just gonna come right out the gate and say it. Most times, every fake friend that you have in your circle is your fault. Welcome back to another episode with the Unspecialist. This time around, we're going to be talking about why you have so many fake friends. Now, I just mentioned that most of the fake friends that you have in your circle, if not all of them, are most likely there because of you. And you might ask, why? Well, the answer is pretty simple. They're there because many of us, myself included, are guilty of calling persons that we just happen to be cool with friends. Now, when I think of this, it actually takes me back to an experience I had in my first year at university during the first semester. So, in one of my classes for my major, there was this guy. We were in the same class. We used to sit next to each other quite often. We talked a lot, exchanged numbers, and we even hung out after class. And then for a couple of the group projects, we were even in the same group. So you'd think, in essence, hey, this guy is my friend. And oftentimes he might miss a class or be really late to class, and I'd be a good friend, help him out with the extra notes or information that he may have missed in class in order to prepare for the next class. Now, as the semester drew to a close and we had to prepare for exams, he had asked me to supply him with a lot of the tips, hints, and strategies to prepare for the exam that he may have missed because he wasn't necessarily present in class or he wasn't possibly paying attention. Now, being a good friend, I thought, you know what, this is cool. Let me just help this guy out, give him what he needs, because hey, I want to see my friends or those that know me, those that are close to me, succeed. And I did. So when the exam came around, the exam was completed, and after the exam, we talked. We were like, hey, he said thanks, and everything was all good. Now when the second semester came around, I was hoping that me and this guy could continue the friendship that we had. I was hoping, we could continue to hang out, continue talking, and just having fun in and after class like we were. However, I realized that we just continued to drift apart. We stopped talking to each other, stopped hanging out, and even it got to a point where on campus, like, he just passed me straight. And in class now, we weren't even having the same level of conversations or anything that we were having before. It was pretty much, it was worse than just strictly business. Like, we wouldn't even talk or have any interactions. And it got to a point where I'm thinking, damn, I thought me and this guy, we were cool. I thought we were friends. And as I thought about the situation, I realized that the entire time I was pretty much being used. I was always the one giving, going out of my way to be helpful. And at the time, being selfless seemed to be the right thing. Unfortunately, in hindsight, I realized that I was lying to myself. I was calling this guy a friend when he wasn't really a friend. We were just cool, and like I said, I was being used for an end in the class to help him do well for the exam. Now, overall, I could say I didn't really lose much from the situation, and I learned a lesson. However, there are others who may go through much worse. You may lie to yourself and call someone a friend and end up backstabbed or stolen from or something much worse. So this is why I'm warning you and letting you know that don't call everyone that you're cool with a friend. When you call them a friend, you subconsciously apply a level of kinship, closeness, or affinity for that person that may not exist. And this is language that, at least in your conscious mind, you need to be careful of, because you don't want to be going around calling someone a friend that's not, because it's dangerous, not just for you, but for others around you. For instance, let's just say I introduced someone as my friend who was kind of like the guy I described in my story to someone of my really and true close friends. That could end in disaster because I call them a friend. My true friends think that this guy is someone that's trustworthy and apply the same level of affinity, or not necessarily the same level, but a similar one to this guy. He may end up doing them dirty like he did me, or maybe not. The point is, however, that you don't want to apply the label carelessly and then put yourself in jeopardy, or persons that you actually have a good relationship with in jeopardy. Because if things went south, your reputation could be on the line. Your friends would be like, but hey, you brought this guy into the circle. Now, if you really have a good relationship with your friends, that shouldn't really kill it, but it is something to think about. That's why when you consider friendship, you need to understand that it's a lot more than just being cool with someone. Friendship is mutual. You and the other person have to know that you like each other, you cool with each other, and there has to be a certain level of trust. You have to have trust for them and vice versa. And then even within the friendship, there also has to be a certain level of sacrifice and understanding. You need to understand the strengths and weaknesses of your friend, not necessarily on a very deep level, because there's different degrees and levels to this. But within the relationship, there has to be some sort of symbiosis. There has to be some sort of togetherness and some level of growth between you. If someone is around you and all they're doing is taking, drawing from you, and not actually contributing to anything along your life path or anything that you're doing at all, it would be really terrible for you to actually just decide, hey, I'm going to call this person a friend. True friends don't take away from or destroy your life. And that's not something I would wish on even my worst enemies, because when you call someone a friend, like I said, and all these bad things happen on the back end of it, you end up in a place where your disillusion is confusing. Why the hell would someone that I really like and I call a friend do this to me, when in fact the entire time they were never a friend? For those that watch Naruto, I guess you could call that a genjutsu that you put on yourself. This is why you have to apply as many filters as possible and scrutinize the relationships that you have with those close to you and around you. I'm certain all of you have heard the cliche, call a spade, and that's exactly what you have to do in this particular situation. You have to call those that are truly friends, and those that aren't, exactly what they are. Now, my proposal for this would be to separate the persons close to you into three primary categories: friends, associates, and acquaintances. I'm going to address the latter two, associates and acquaintances, in later videos. And if you want me to go more in depth into friends and what I think friendship is, let me know in the comments and I'll address it in a later video as well. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Like the video if it helped you out in any way. Provide your feedback in the comments and roast me if you like. This is the Unspecialist saying keep your friends close, your enemies closer, and start keeping track of those that are real and those that aren't. Peace.